Hari Om. Welcome back to our study of this wonderful text, Vivekachudamani. We are exploring Shloka 12 of this great work, Samyak Vicharata Siddha, where we said that there are two essential factors that come into play to ascertain the nature of the object being examined. In our case, the rope. Proximity to the rope and clear observation facilitated by external illumination like a torchlight, etc., to reveal its true form. Similarly, similarly, we must draw lessons from this example, right? The rope snake example, right? Similarly, the self, Atma, remains unclear due to lack of illumination. Remains unclear due to lack of illumination, which is provided by the light within quotes. The illumination that is provided by the light of scripture, Shastra light, Shastra torchlight, enabling us to understand our true nature. I'd like to add one more word there in that sentence. The self remains unclear due to lack of illumination, which illumination is provided by the light of the scripture, Shastra light, as taught by a Sadguru, a Shrotriya Brahmanistha Acharya. The Shastra by itself will not throw light. In fact, the Shastra says, never study the Shastras independently. Study me only under the guidance of a qualified teacher. A Shrotriya Brahmanistha Acharya, a teacher who has learnt this Vidya from his teacher. And having learnt this Vidya, has internalized this Vidya and made it his own. So when the teacher teaches about the Atma, the teacher isn't teaching us about some Atma, some third party Atma. No, the teacher is teaching us that which he already is, what he has already recognized. And through the teaching, he or she is helping us to recognize the same in ourselves. Such a teacher, when he or she teaches what the Shastra has to say, the Shastra flashlight, when used by a guru, the self that remained unclear due to lack of illumination becomes clear using the Guru Shastra flashlight, enabling us to understand our true nature. If the self remains completely not understood or ununderstood, it poses no issue. If the self remains completely ununderstood or not understood, it poses no issue. In Jagrat and Swapna Avastha, in the waking and dream states, self ignorance is not total. Self ignorance is not total, it is partial. Why do I say, why does Swamiji say it is partial? Because I know I am, because I know I am, but I do not know, listen carefully, but I do not know I am Brahman. I know that I am, but I do not know I am Brahman. That is why the self, the self ignorance is not total in Jagrat and Swapna Avasthas. I know that I am, but I do not know that I am Brahman, the infinite self. That is why Swamiji calls it partial knowledge. Partial knowledge. In deep sleep, however, there is total ignorance. There is total ignorance because I do not even know that I am. I'm not self aware either. I-ness is clear, M-ness is clear, Brahman-ness is not clear in Jagrat and Swapna Avasthas. I-ness is clear, M-ness is clear. I-ness meaning I am a conscious being. Am-ness meaning I am existent. I am an existent conscious being. But the fact that this I-ness and amness is Brahman is not clear. The Brahmanness is not clear. Says Swamiji. I-ness and amness is known. That is called partial knowledge. I-ness and amness are known, and this is called partial knowledge. Samanya Jnanam. Samanya Jnanam. Brahmanness is not known. Brahmanness is not known. That is called Vishesha Jnana Abhava. Vishesha Jnana Abhava. Friends, kindly listen to these portions repeatedly so that you are able to understand the technical reasoning that is being provided by Swamiji based on the teachings of the Shastra, so that this will aid you throughout the study not only of Vivekachudamani but also the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and any other Prakarana Grantha. My sincere request to all of you is to study these portions repeatedly. However much you advance in the study of Vivekachudamani, come back to the first principles, as they say in maths, in physics. Come back to the basics. Go back to the basics and revisit these portions. The I-ness and am-ness is known, that is partial knowledge, samanya jnanam. Brahmanness is not known. Brahmanness is not known. That is called Vishesha Jnana Abhava. The Vishesha Jnana is Brahmanness. And that is not known, Abhava. In the case of Rajjujnanam, total knowledge of the rope, is possible only when I go near the rope with some extra light that aids my vision. That extra light is crucial, because it was in the twilight zone that I committed an error of perception. So I need some more light to aid me in drawing the right conclusions. Isn't it? Similarly, I can gain Atma Jnanam. Only when I inquire into Atma. I can gain Atma Jnanam only when I inquire into the Atma. How? How? With an extra light. With an extra light. And what is this extra light? What is this extra light? Shastra Pramanam is the extra light. Shastra Pramanam, when handled by a competent Acharya, is that extra light. An Acharya who has been there and come back. Out of the highest compassion to help us recognize our immaculate self. There is only one force that drives them to come back, the force of compassion. Yam petra inbam peruga ivvayyagam. Let me share the Ananda, the Atma Ananda that I discovered, the knowledge of this Atma, let me share with those who are seriously seeking it. Shastra Pramanam is that extra light, says Swamiji. Inquiry into the Atma without Shastra Pramanam. Inquiry into the Atma without Shastra Pramanam will not lead to knowledge. Inquiry, it is just like inquiry into physics, into a particular topic of physics. Without the aid of the first principles, without the aid of axioms, will not prove fruitful, isn't it? Apply the same rules, apply the same principles, apply the same approach. There is nothing mystical about Atmajnana. The approach is the same. It is a clean educational program. Let not the use of Sanskrit words make you feel that this subject matter is different or the approach to study is different. No, it's just the same. Inquiry without Shastra Pramanam will not lead to knowledge because there is Manda Andhakara. There is Manda Andhakara, partial darkness, where here in the mind. This Manda Andhakara, not sufficient light enough to discover that Atma within ourselves. There is Manda Andhakara, partial darkness. Why do I need an extra torchlight? Why do I need this extra light or illumination? Because this area in which the object is being examined is shrouded with semi darkness or semi light. It isn't well lit. Without proper aiding light, inquiry is meaningless. Inquiry is meaningless, right? Similarly, without the assistance of the Shastra, Guru Shastra, however intensely, I close my eyes and ask, however intensely I close my eyes and ask, inquire, who am I? However sincerely I meditate, however sincerely I meditate, however sincerely I work for intuition to be generated, nothing will work. Nothing will work because the extra light of Shastra is missing, because the extra light of Shastra is missing. Apply the same principles to the rope snake. Without the, let us replace the word Shastra with light, with a flashlight or torchlight. Without the assistance of the torchlight, however intensely I close my eyes and ask, inquire about the essence of that snake, inquire into the essence of that snake, the rope, however sincerely I meditate, however sincerely I meditate, however sincerely I work for intuition to be generated, nothing will work, because that extra light by way of that torchlight is missing. Tell me, how different is the approach to Atma Jnanam from the approach to Rajju Jnanam? The approach is the same. Bring in that extra light and observe keenly the object that is being examined. There's nothing mystical about it. All it requires is systematic study for a length of time under the guidance of a competent live acharya. Period. Just like you would study physics or chemistry or mathematics. Therefore, in the Rajju Drishtanta, the rope example, inquiry with extra light generates right knowledge. Inquiry aided with extra light. That is important. Both are important. Inquiry is important, extra light is also important. Here too, in the case of Atma Jnanam, here too, inquiry with the extra light of Shastram generates Atma Jnanam. Here too, inquiry with the extra light of Shastram generates Atma Jnanam. This is the first part of the example. This is the first part of the example. We will continue our study of this example more in the upcoming capsules with Swamiji's guidance. Until then, Hari Om. Om Durjana Sajjano Bhuyad Sajjana Shantimapnuyad Shanto Muccheta Bandhebhyah Muktaschanyaan Vimochayet Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om